Awesome. So let's get started. I think our Chief Webinar Officer Gaurav is here, and he's going to sort of walk you guys through it. Yeah, wonderful.
Perfect. Just let me know if you guys able to see the screen.
Yeah, we can.
We can.
Perfect. Great. Thanks everyone for dialing in. What we're gonna do is cover the tool in detail on how we should use it and how it can power up your content writing and make it more powerful. And then we're going to cover a sneak peek of the Chrome extension, which is going to release early next week. Great. So we have two sections here. The first is the AI copywriter, which is basically you can write upwards of 40 short form marketing copies using AI, right? So there are close to, as I said, upwards of 40 use cases spread across e-commerce, where you can write product descriptions, you can write reviews or respond to a specific review or Google description, etc. Or either question and answers, where you can generate questions and generate answer to those questions. Let's say Quora answers. A very nice use case, which Mayank uses on Quora is generate engaging questions first around a topic and then create answers around that topic using Quora answers, and it works very well. I think a lot of our own answers by the name of Mayank are ranking #1 on Quora.
Yeah.
So the next pardon me for this, guys. And next is copywriting. Bunch of copywriting use cases here, starting from blog to website copies like landing page, hero text, and then also some of the English converters like active to passive or passive to active for that matter. And then there are marketing copies, there are marketing frameworks, before after bridge, IDA, PAS, and so on. And then there are ad copies around Google Ads, Facebook, LinkedIn, and a bunch of use cases around video title, description, hook, outline, etc. And the last is email, where you can write catchy subject lines and also generate a sales email for cold reach out, let's say. This is very powerful. We again use it a lot internally. Great. I'll run you maybe one of the use cases here, not take a lot of time. Let's say I'll run through IDA. It's one of my favorites. So let's say I put brand as Scalenut and description I put as AI copywriter and SEO, and then write oh no, let me use another interesting one.
Yeah.
Oh. Perfect. Let's generate a IDA copy around it. Okay, so here's the copy, right? Attention, with the Chrome extension, you can write better and faster. And you can generate more as well here. Perfect. So guys, very important thing is to provide a good description, right? Talk about what you want to what does your brand stand for, and also talk about what you want to cover in the IDA copy, right? So for example, Scalenut is an AI copywriter which also does short form, long form writing and SEO research. But more importantly here, I want to cover providing early access to Chrome extension. So that's what I've written along with some context, right? So keep that in mind to provide the right context, and then generates an amazing copy. So here now you can do edits if you want. Uh, let's say Google Play Store. Perfect. You can edit. You can also copy if you want. And also we've recently launched this last week, which is thumbs up and thumbs down. So if you thumbs up, then it saves for later. And if you thumbs down, then it gives the feedback to us, and we try to improve the quality internally using that. Great. You can also go through the history where all the copies generated by you are here. So this is the one we generated, which is sort of here, and also favorites, right? The one which I marked favorite, which I marked thumbs up, comes up in your favorite. So you can access them later if you want to quickly go through what you liked last time. We want to use it sometime later as well. So that's AI Copywriter for you. Close to 40 use cases, very powerful short form copies, can help you tremendous time, give you great ideas, helps remove writer's block. If you're writing a copy and you get stuck on what to write, definitely use it. Would help you leaps and bounds, I would say. Perfect. So this is a AI Copywriter. I'll move next to the SEO Assistant, right? Now, SEO Assistant is basically a tool where you can do SEO research and also do long form writing, right? Primarily blogs, articles. So the way it works is, first I will choose a primary keyword for which I want to rank. Say today I want to write on content optimization, right? This is what we are going to talk about, and this is what we are going to write also today. So content optimization, and then I will select my geography, right? So for example, Germany. Okay, it goes to the nth location, right, in Germany, let's say, or let me put Berlin. So it goes to perhaps sometimes the pin code as well, and also tells you the reach of a specific area or town pin code, and you can select that. Google also customizes search for specific geographies. So depends upon your target audience. You want to target a niche audience in a specific area, or you want to target a relatively larger audience in a country, you can choose this. Right now, for simplicity's sake, I'm just choosing US and creating a report. So it takes a couple of minutes, around a minute on an average, to create a report. But interestingly, what it does in the backend under the hood is, we scrape top 30 URLs from Google around this keyword, which is, let's say, content optimization. We run natural language algorithms on them. We do social listening from Quora, Reddit, and people also ask questions on Google and provide to you in a very clean, structured report which you can consume, right? So SEO research, which would have taken perhaps a few hours of your time for a specific topic, now just reduces to minutes, right? So that's the kind of powerful tool it is, and the way it helps you do research. I think it's taking a bit longer to prepare this report, but yeah. So that's how it is for NLP. We use industry leaders like Google, IBM, and our proprietary algorithms to extract key entities and then see how many of them are available in the top ranking articles, and also then sort them in importance, right? And at the same time, social listening from Quora, Reddit gives you an idea of what people are talking about and what people want to know about this topic. So if you write about that topic, there is a likelihood that you rank, and there is also a likelihood that you might there is a probability that you get into featured snippets on Google, right? as far as those topics are concerned.
And probably this is one of the most important step, right? Like to create that right content brief, which we know is the heart and soul of the long form content, right? Like, and that's what like sets apart Scalenut, like the entire research behind long form writing, right? So that's there.
Would also like to point out, like, in case you have any questions, happy to, take them in the Q&A section. There must be another report on content optimization, and we can like start from there.
Yeah,
Gaurav.
no worries. Let me make another one.
Yeah, I think yours should be ready now. It should be ready now. I think so. If you could just refresh the page.
Sure, I'll refresh as well. Oh, perfect.
Wow.
Great, I'll put this report. Great. Very interesting, guys. This report, actually, this is the top page statistics. It talks about the top ranking articles, top 10, 11 to 20, and 21 to 30, and talks about the content grade, which is a proprietary grade given by Scalenut, shows the comprehensive and completeness of the content. Here is H tags, which is basically the number of subheadings on an average top 10 articles would contain. The readability, which is pretty much consistent across, the number of images per article, and the average word count, right? The next is an NLP terms. This is primarily, as I always say, it's heart and soul of this report. And when I was saying, right, we run natural language processing algorithms on the top 30 articles. What we do is we extract key entities from each article, and then see the presence of these entities in the top ranking articles, and then figure out these 70 terms, rank them in terms of importance, also show you the typical times, typical number of times they appear in the articles, and the heading presence as well, while let's say whether the optimization is present in subheadings or not. And look at these terms, right? These terms are not related keywords, right, which you will find through related keyword tools freely available, but these are key entities, right, about which you will talk about, let's SERPs, metrics, organic search, etc., right, CTR, which you will talk about, and your content is likely to be more comprehensive. Google likes comprehensive articles, and what Google does is it makes a knowledge graph of a specific topic. The knowledge graph says, hey, if I talk about content optimization, these are the subtopics around the content optimization which one should cover to make the article comprehensive. And we've sort of tried to reverse engineer that logic, and including these terms will make your article more comprehensive, right? Let's see if I want to use some of these keywords, how would I use? Let's see optimization. Yeah. So it shows also how optimization is being used in top ranking articles, right? How it is used in rank number 2, rank number 3, and so on, right? And how optimization is also used in subtopics, right? Why is content optimization so important, and so on, right? Perfect. So this is NLP terms. This is the detail of all the 30 articles and the metrics that we saw above: word count, readability, grade, images, headings. A good thing is you can also read the article here. You don't need to open a separate tab and refer to the complete article here to understand how what it talks about and read certain sections of it. These are the Google LSI keywords. Also important to understand related things what people are talking about. This is the social listening part I was talking about, right? So here are questions from Reddit, questions from Google, which is people also ask, questions from Quora, and some of the questions which are being generated by AI as well, right? These are very important. Generally, if you are answering some of these questions, there is a high likelihood that you end up coming in the featured snippets on Google, which is at the top, right? Answering specific questions, or people also ask questions as well. You can your answer can be found there if it is nicely structured and written. Next is citations. Citations is primarily outbound articles, outbound links in these 30 articles. So, for example, Moz.com is being referenced 18 times in top articles. Hrefs is being referenced 10 times in top articles, right? That's what citations mean. And then the outlines. This is very interesting. This is one of my favorite part. So what it does is it shows you the outline, which is H tags, H2, H3, basically subheadings of the top 30 ranking articles, right? Now, how do I use it, right? The way the best way to use it is to create a content brief. So for example, I like this, I want to cover this, I want to cover this, and I also want to cover how to get started with content optimization. This one, I want to cover why it is important. Oh, I think it's covered twice. Okay, I'll delete it. But no worries, I want to cover this one. I want to cover this one, this one, this one. Okay, perfect. Okay, include multimedia as well. Awesome. So this is the kind of brief I have made. Very interesting, very helpful for you if you're working with freelancers or virtual assistants. Just give them a brief and tell them to write an article. Gives you a good idea of how the top ranking articles are have the outline without opening the URLs and reading those articles, and you can use some of these here. I'll add some interesting questions as well here. Okay. Perfect. I've added some questions as well. I can add some themes if I want. Can add some citations as well. Cool. So yeah, here's a content brief which is ready. I can also edit it here if I want. Let's say perfect. I can keep editing. I can also add notes here. Great. So this is how I use the content brief and a report. So if you see this kind of research, if you do it on your own, would take a few hours for you to read articles, figure out the outlines and so on, while all of this comes to you in a jiffy and makes your life pretty much faster and easier. Perfect. I'll move to the editor now, where the real action happens and how we can use some of this information to write an article around content optimization. Great. So let's see one by one what all is there, right? So first of all, in the right pane, there are three things: NLP terms, competition, and questions, right? NLP terms are the terms which we saw earlier. You can also access how they are being used here. There are some actions, create text for this term, which I will take through in some time. You can also create headings if you want on this term, right? Then you can also sort this through importance, unused, heading presence. Then there is competition. Again, you can go through the outline of the competition, but more importantly, you can also read here. You can drill down on H2 on what is competition writing about this and take cues if you want to, right? You can also read the article here or paste an outline. right? So the complete outline of a competition article gets pasted in case you want to use it somewhere, right? So that's the competition part, and then the questions. Again, the questions from Quora, Reddit, and Google. Very interesting part is one-click answers for each question, right? You just click on this, and it will answer your question, right? I'll show this in action as well. Uh, but yeah, how to start writing now, right? So I'll start with templates and perhaps uh, creating a blog title creator, right? Okay, I like this. I'll use this one. Perfect. Guys, don't forget to give it your own touch, right? As I always say, AI is always stiff, so feel free to give it your own touch and add your magic. Great. Next, I would want to write a, let's say, introduction paragraph about it. I'll again go to the templates and write. Okay, I don't like anyone, let's say. Okay, I like this one, let's say. Perfect. Great. So once I've written the introduction, I'll also sort of insert the brief which I made in the last step, right? And I'll start writing about some of these things, right? Okay. One more thing, guys, which I sort of forgot to tell you, and which is good to use earlier, is AI settings, right? There are you can adjust the output length, short, medium, and long. I tend to keep it short for myself so that AI remains on point. If you want to give it a direction, then I keep it short for myself, but feel free to use it for yourself. Creativity, I generally tend to keep it at high. You can also provide context and keywords to include, but more importantly, very interesting, you can also prioritize NLP terms, right? Which means these NLP terms, the AI will give a nudge to AI to use some of these terms in the content that you write. That will help you reach the content grade, required content grade much faster. If I click on the configure button here, you can also configure the priority basis what you feel is right. But here is a priority which is already given by Scalenut basis the importance here, right? So I'll keep it as it is without changing right now, but I have enabled it just right here. Perfect. So let's say I want to write about this. What is content optimization? Here is what it reads. For example, this is the question I want to answer. I'll just click on write. So last week we also made a change where this same button is used to write ahead while also understand commands. So let's say what is content optimization. This says understand this command that I have to answer this. So, and it kind of starts answering it just with this button, right? So it's a multi-purpose button as of now. Let's say I want to write ahead. Cool. All right, answer this one. Okay, let's say this is the one, right?
We are already close to 400 words.
Yeah.
5 minutes, yeah.
In the meanwhile, I'll just put it on. I'll sort the NLP terms with unused, so I get to know what is written, what is not written. If you see, guys, just with 500 words, we've also moved from grade F to D. As we keep writing, and AI is nudging while writing to use the NLP terms in the right places without force fitting it. It'll help you to improve the grade as well as use the right terms and cover the right topics, right? Great. Let's say I don't want it to start with number 2, right? For example, it started with number 2. No, I don't want it to start with number 2. I will not tell AI that this is number 1. What I do is I just put a blinder here, right? If you put 3 hashes anywhere in the content, the AI does not read above, right? So AI just understands, and AI just reads this, and it's a fresh start for AI, right? If you don't put the blinder, then AI perhaps reads all of this and generates content, so it understands, hey, this is the number 1 point. I have to move to number 2. But now that I have put blinders, there's a high likelihood that it will not move to the next topic, but rather talk about the same topic, right? So that's how you.
This is awesome.
That's how you use the Scalenut blinder, right? You can also click on the I button here and see some of the keyboard shortcuts, and also see how Scalenut blinders is used, right? And also access to how to guides in case you would want to do so. Perfect. I'll remove the Scalenut blinder now that my work is done. Okay. My favorite, which I would want to include. Okay, S3. Cool. Cool. So let's say I also want to talk about how NLP helps in improvement, right? And I want to get information from SERP around it rather than just AI writing about it, right? So what I will do is I'll click on SERP facts here. Let's say I want to talk about improvement in ROI with NLP, right? Great. So it talks about okay, great. Okay, you can drive 2 to 3x ROI on an improvement, and this is not written by AI, right? This is basically information extracted from SERP, from some of the top ranking articles, right, which talk about improvement in ROI with NLP in the context of the main topic, which is content optimization. Cool. So I'll perhaps click these 2 and I'll tell you to write about this. Okay, it has not written about 2-3x. Let me run this again. Okay, sometimes I think AI will not write exactly what you want, so I'll rather sort of add it myself, right? Okay, cool. I can also use rephrase here in case I want to paraphrase this sentence. Oh, awesome. Great. Sounds good. So this talks about the second topic as well, right? And if you see, oh my God, our content grade has moved from F to C till now, right? And we're close to 600 words. and readability is bang on. So we are on the right path, right? Great. So let's say I also want to write a few FAQs, right? I'm just skipping to the next part just to cover everything. A few of the things which I've not covered is AI connectors. I'll just quickly cover this. So let's say you want to write more, you can use in addition. Additionally, you want to give it a spin and move to the next paragraph, then you can use this for sequence, condition, result, summary. Let's say I want to add more here, so I'll write in addition. Perfect, right? Sounds good. And there are some of the operators where you want to, if you want to write questions, topics, outline, summary, or conclude the content, you can use this. I'll use FAQs here. This is one of my favorite, right? Which is more important, page optimization or content? I just click here and it starts writing the question as well as the answer.
Yeah.
Perfect. Let's also see some of the other operators in action, right? So we wrote about 2 points here. Let's say I also want to cover a third topic, which is do competitor So here is this do competitor research, but let's say I want to write about this heading here. Cool. So what it does is basically, let me run this again as well once. But what it does is basically it in the competition article, it will read above this specific topic and then do right ahead, right? So it gives amazingly good context to AI from the same article where you want to write this, and then basically starts writing. So the context of the writing might be a notch better, right? Cool. So this is it. If I also want to write about specific NLP terms, let me use this one. Let's say not written about backlinks, right? So backlinks is another option, let's say, and I want to write about backlinks. Great. So what again, this also uses SERP, right? What we do is we use some of the backlinks, some of the paragraphs which talk about backlinks in the top ranking articles, and mix and match them, provide the information to AI to write about it. So this is very powerful, right? And some of these you can also use to make headings, right? You want to, let's say, optimize for email conversion, let's say, right? I want to generate more. Then the more topics get generated around emails, right? And then I can also write about some of the topics here. Let's say, I don't like any out of these. Okay. Okay. Great. How to increase email open rate, and starts writing about it. So very powerful stuff here. You can create more headings and also write about certain headings, right? Competition questions we talked about. If you see the left panel, then here's a use case which is being used by our team also a lot, is import URL, right? So sometimes you've already written an article, it's published on a website but not doing well. In those cases, you would want to optimize an existing article. So what you do is you import an article here, putting a URL. The whole article gets populated here, and then you can basically tweak the article to improve the content grade, in include the NLP terms and optimize it, right? Once you've written, you can export as PDF, export as HTML in case you want to use this HTML on Webflow or WordPress for that matter, or download as doc file. So these are the actions here. There's another thing where you can add images, right? These are royalty-free images you can use without any worry, right? And cool. Let's say I want to use this image in my article, and you can keep using this in multimedia at the right places to enhance the and enhance the look and feel of your blog and make it more sort of readable. So yeah, I think that's what I wanted to run through as far as platform capabilities is concerned. So what I have seen is close to 45 minutes to an hour. You will be able to write a blog of 2 to 3K words in as much detail you would want to cover. I'll take a pause here. I think monologue from my side, but any questions, Mayank, Saurabh, out there?
Yeah, there have been quite a few, and we've been answering them in the while. So yeah, this is great. Every time we do this session, we realize, within an hour or so, you can come out with a 1500 word SEO optimized blog, and that's the real power of Scalenut. I've always, loved this idea of marrying AI content generation with SEO intelligence, and that's where the true power lies.
Yeah.
And if there are any questions at this point, we're happy to take them live also. There have been comments on plagiarism. There have been comments around SERP ideas. Yeah, share your feedback taken. It's in beta, as I mentioned, and we're constantly iterating on the same.
Yeah, so I think there's a comment from James that is it possible to input this article into an AI detector and see if they detect it. So yeah, I mean, we'll definitely try it out. Yeah, as you go forward. And then there is another one. Is it possible to integrate Grammarly account? So
yeah. So Grammarly automatically works in our editor.
Yeah, absolutely. Let me just share as well. Yeah. So I've switched off the Grammarly, but if you switch on the Grammarly works here, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, you can use any, right? For example, this one. So Grammarly works perfectly.
Yeah.
Use it all the time. Yeah.
Thank you, Will. Thanks, Prasoon.
Shall we sort of move to the exciting part?
Yeah, there was a teaser. I don't know if anybody noticed, but when Gaurav switched on the Grammarly extension, the one next to it was the Scalenut Chrome extension. I don't know if anybody noticed that.
Yeah, I did. Yeah.
Perfect.
How you? Yeah, Abhishek noticed. About the webinar, there have been a lot of people asking about this. This webinar gets pushed on our YouTube channel within a day or so. Mayank takes care of that. sincere, recommendation that you guys should join our Facebook community as well, because the smallest of small and biggest of biggest, all updates are pushed on our FB community, and we are fairly responsive there. If you're on the FB community.